everybody, and welcome to another Summer 2013 Case Closed review where we give you our final thoughts on a show ending this season. My name is Alan, otherwise known as Hisui.
I'm Kate, otherwise known as Narataki.
If you like this, you can also go to the blog, reversethieves.com, and get our monthly Speakeasy podcast, as well as our upcoming SWAT reviews where we look at the first episode of the new shows of the new season.
This time we're looking at Attack on Titan from WIT Studio and Production IG, and it's streaming on Crunchyroll and Funimation. I feel sort of breathless. We just finished watching the last two episodes, and it's been such a ride. And the whole thing, it's just a show that continually surprised me. You know, every couple of episodes, something else would jar me.
And it is a show where it proves that being an NPC is horrible and not that being a named character, basically being a PC means that you're gonna live.
This show is so brutal, especially the last few episodes. I mean, it was always brutal, but something about the last couple of episodes, you know, there's a lot of, Titans fighting each other, and the carnage that it creates is just so devastating. Because
I feel for a while, the only people who were dying were, Survey Corps members who kind of have, the red shirt on them, practically. That might as well be their cape, not the green one. But I feel like these last few episodes were like, hey, let's go back to just, I'm going around town buying some bread and...
Yeah, and and the show, I think, deals with the military and sort of the extremes the military is willing to go to, and especially here at the end, we were seeing a lot of civilian lives versus, people who have really volunteered to be part of the military, and how sacrificing things like that, and what do you get out of it, and is it enough to... are you gaining enough by putting people in danger? I thought that was an interesting thematic thing that was going on here at the end. A big thing that came up at the beginning of the series and now has come up again is this whole, giving up your humanity to fight monsters. To fight the monster, you have to, almost become the monster. And, again, is that really the right way to go about it? And I felt there's a lot of violence, there's a lot of militarism in the series that can be uncomfortable at times, and actually, throughout the show, I've been wondering, why isn't anybody questioning the military more? Because, even as the audience, I feel like I've been swept up, and I was thinking about, wait, why do I trust that the military is doing the right thing? Why do I trust right now that they don't know about this, or they don't know about that? Or, I think it's interesting that both the audience and internally in the show, I'm hoping that it comes up more, and maybe that will be an issue later.
I think that it's also one of those things where it's really easy to see organizations as unified individuals, corporations are people aside, this thing that this organization is a whole and it has a will and it does its own thing. Whereas I think we've seen, in real life, there's a lot of backbiting and people having more knowledge than other people and keeping it to themselves, and then this little faction has their own agenda and what they know, and then this group has their own plans, and if they knew half of what this organization in this branch in this large organization, they'd probably have completely different plans, but that group isn't going to share that, and vice versa.
And that came up a bit at the end as well of the series. I'm just hoping that that's explored more, because it's something I realized myself kind of as we went along in the series. And I also liked that the end result of this arc, I guess you could say it's the arc that the whole season went to, is not there. It is not definitively positive. It's not was that the right decision? I don't feel like anybody in the series really knows if they've made the right decisions right now. And I don't know either. I mean, I feel very conflicted about it.
Well, I think Levy constantly goes, sometimes you just gotta roll the dice and realize you're gonna make the wrong decision. And you can't let that paralyze you into not making a decision, but you've got to also realize that sometimes you're gonna choose wrong.
So, one of the things that I like about Attack on Titan is that the military branches are really interesting, and then each individual within the branches are really interesting, but it's kind of frustrating to me that I don't have enough time to really explore each and every character. I like that the show is able to present them to me in a very succinct manner that makes me really interested in them, that makes me connect with them, and want to know about them, but then I'm like, wait! There's so many people! Like, there's so many characters that I want to know more about, and I definitely get the feeling that won't be happening. Except for the middle of this series, which I felt dipped in pace. It was going really kind of like as a speeding train, and then slowed down in a poor fashion, I think, in the middle. Like, in the teens, it got a little slow, a little recappy, and like...
But I think part of that is less them not realizing that, and everything seems to point to budgetary concern and lack of just manpower, lack of just people to draw stuff. So they basically had to rest and kind of... I don't think that was a deliberate thing or a bad pacing decision. I think they just did not... They were not able to go any faster. But if they basically had unlimited money and unlimited employees, they wouldn't have had to do that.
But, I mean, I feel like as a viewer, that's not really my concern.
Oh, yeah, true,
You know what
true.
I mean? I get it, and I don't want anyone dying to create Attack on Titan episodes. I'm certainly not saying that, but, it's a legitimate criticism, I think, of the center episodes, because a lot of them, nearly, like, the first third would be the what happened in the previous episode just replayed for us as, like... as part of the episode. So, but then it picks up again the last 7 or so episodes, and again, it's like that speeding train. So much is happening, so much is being thrown at us. It's all the synapses in your brain are trying to take in everything, but that's what I mean when I know that I will not get to know about all of these characters because they're already, going at such a pace that there's not time.
Yeah, I feel like every once in a while, people will just assume incompetence when there's other things going on. That doesn't mean that you have to be like, no, well, then I accept it and I'm super happy about it, but, I don't think that it was malicious or poor ability. Although I do say I was a little surprised they didn't have an announcement of another season.
That's blowing my mind right now.
But, I mean, obviously that little stinger at the end is like, look forward to more episodes.
That blew my mind. I don't even know what that means, but it's gonna be stuck in my head until... And I don't read the manga, so, like, I
felt like the audible gasp from everybody in the room when that last... Bum, bum, bum.
Wait till after the credits. If you're watching, if you're behind or anything, just make sure you watch all the way to the end. I'm freaking out again just thinking about it, but... I sort of assumed they would just announce, like, Attack on Titan will never end ever because it is the most popularist thing that's in years, but I'm kind of shocked that we haven't heard anything yet.
Well, my only thing is, I remember that the author of the original manga said that he wanted to end the series by a certain book, so I'm curious. I think their general plan is probably when I think you can probably guess that when the series comes back, they'll probably be wrapping up the manga so they can basically conclude at the same time. Or at least that would be my general theory. It's
just, I don't want it to lose momentum or audience. I don't know why I'm suddenly thinking like a marketing person on that, but...
But on the other hand, I mean, as a fan... fandom can be fickle. You don't want them to all move on to Welcome to Night Vale fandom and be like, Attack on Titan, yeah, that was that show I watched 2 years ago. I don't care what happens now.
But at least there is the manga. The manga sales are picking up, so I don't know. I wasn't planning on picking up the manga because I just assumed that they would announce more anime, but now I might have to change my mind. Does anybody have to say Attack on Titan is recommended? Because it is. So, everybody's watching it. For once, I agree.
And it didn't end with the chicken chasing episode,
yes.
So if you had thought about watching it, you might as well. Alright, see you guys next time.
Bodo